Hey, good morning, everybody. First of all, it's March 11 at just after 10 in the morning. So yesterday, remember we had an auger problem. So I guess it's an auger problem, but it actually did what it was supposed to do. So some of you watching may say you already knew this, and some of you might be interested to learn something new. Since this is my first time with an auger and nobody's ever told me anything, and of course, you can't expect them to tell you everything. There's too many things to tell. So that's actually a shear bolt, it's called. That is what connects the drive shaft to the auger gearbox. And it's made to shear off if it gets caught on something, so it protects the gearbox. So it doesn't, fry the gears, strip them out. So that's awesome. It did what it was supposed to do. I went to the tractor supply place the place I bought the tractor from, and they did not have the shear bolt. So I went to Tractor Supply in the town or near the town that I live in and found a shear bolt that I think is going to work. And they went to Harbor Freight and bought a punch so I can punch the bolt out, because part of it's still in there, obviously. And while I was driving down toward my property, which is in a completely different town, there's a Tractor Supply down here as well, and it's the one I usually go to. And I thought, I'm going to go ahead and park in the parking lot here and try to work on my auger in the back of the truck. It may or may not be a good idea, I'm not sure, because it's very heavy, but the auger could fall off. So that is a very heavy piece of equipment, so I'd rather it not fall off. I'd rather it stay in one spot. So I'm thinking it laying on its side in the back of my pickup bed could be a better option. It's gonna still be hard to move around and maneuver and stuff, but I thought, if there's something I end up needing, I'm here in the Tractor Supply parking lot, or at least I'm also in town. So if I needed a piece of equipment or I needed a tool or something, I can have access to it instead of being out on the property. Wouldn't you know it that you decided to start texting me while I'm on the camera. Oh well. Anyway, so I'm going to do my best to work on this auger in the back of the truck. Okay guys, I'm taking off the safety. This kind of guards the area that spins. So I'm taking this guy off first to get to everything. Took the safety cover off, and right here is the shear pin that needs to be punched out. So I'm going to try to punch that out, and hopefully I have the correct pin to replace it. All right, this is what I call a punch. I don't know, everybody has different names, I guess. I found out there's different names for it. But you just put this in here, hit, and hopefully it pops it out. All right, we punched this out. What did I do with that pin that fell? Oh, there it is. So this is the pin that fell out. And this is the new pin. This is going through here, like this. And we'll just put the nut on and we're done. This is the shear bolt that we put in here. And we're just going to tighten this up. I don't even think that you have to put it on super tight. And tighten it here. Alright, the only thing left to do is just to put this protection plate back on. I'm so happy this ended up being one of the easiest fixes of something I didn't know what I was doing or have an understanding of. So all it took was going to Tractor Supply and buying, this was $5 and something for the shear bolts. You get 3 of them, which is awesome. Then I went ahead and bought a punch set from Harbor Freight for 10 bucks, just so it would make my job a little easier, because the punches often work better than punching something out with a screwdriver. And I used a jack to put the thing up on, and I'm done. That actually took like 10 minutes or something. So I'm a happy guy. All right, we're out here at the property, and I've got to hook this back up again. So I'm trying something different. Maybe this will, because of having to put this in the back with this guy attached, it attaches right here. It was too tall for me to be able to close the top of my bed. So out of necessity, I just pulled this pin and disconnected it from it and laid it on the side. And then doing that caused me to look at this and say, well, that's one piece that I wouldn't have to deal with and fight and try to get on here with all this attached to it. So that might have been something good that came out of this sheared pin or that one thing. Now I'm going to turn the tractor around, roll this into the bucket, lay it on the ground, and then get this thing situated so that I can get it hooked up. And maybe we'll accidentally discover a better way to do this. Okay guys, that was a little bit easier. Definitely comparing it to yesterday when I put it on. So I think I will from now on just attach this, put it on first. But then the hard part is getting this attached down there, because this whole thing is just so heavy. It'd be nice if if this pin was longer and had these things on it. Then I could like take one other heavy thing off and be able to put things on one at a time, because just such a heavy thing for one person. Anyway, I got that, and now I'm gonna go up to where the electric pole is. I'm thinking about possibly doing just a different hole if that's still real muddy in there. So we'll check that out. Okay, I'm over at the hole, and it's still very muddy, and I anticipate that it's not going to work well. But I'm going to still try. If it doesn't work, maybe I'll fill this hole in and put another hole right next to it and see if that'll work. Alright guys, what I had to do was dig another hole. Yeah, that's okay. I just put it maybe 6 inches down. And it still is flaky and falling in, so I kind of figured out I must have just got really lucky when I dig this before. It was just I guess really dry dirt, so it was able to pull it all out. But when it's a little bit wet like this, it's not muddy at all, it still falls back in the hole. So I got it about halfway down, and then I just took a shovel. I don't have a post hole digger. I may have to invest in one of those just to clean the holes out. I was hoping that the auger would do the complete job, but maybe I'm going to have to clean the final inches out with a handheld post hole digger when the dirt is like this. So I went ahead and rolled this off onto the front loader, and I'm just going to lower it onto the ground right here, or maybe like a few inches off, and then try to tip it up myself into the hole. It's really heavy, but I hope to be able to use the equipment in my favor and help me out. All right, That's a tall pole. Wow. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be like 4 feet in the ground and 12 feet above the ground. That's impressive looking. So I'm going to just take the shovel and pull some of this dirt and pack it around. And it feels pretty solid actually already. And here's my grounding rod. So once I get this in, I believe I'm supposed to take a 2x4 or two and reinforce this. I'll do that next. I'm so thankful for this tractor. It saves me from doing this kind of work most of the time. So the one problem I'm kind of seeing is I had to cut away the bank here to be able to get the auger in and be even and get it down 4 feet. If I would have been able to get up on the bank, then that wouldn't have been necessary, but I wasn't. So now I have to pack all this dirt in around it and come back out here somewhere, at least somewhat even. So now I'm decided, I kind of got most of the dirt from back there and I can go back there and get more with the shovel. But I'm going to take the front loader, scrape this stuff down and try to pack this in around here a little bit and get this more solid looking. Okay guys, I went and got a few tools here. I've gone onto the site that talks about what's required of me and what I'm supposed to have here, and this wasn't, the stuff that's there wasn't mentioned at all by the guy that came and told me about putting a power pole. In fact, I just looked it up and it says on a different site that this could have been a 4x4, whereas what I read before said it has to be a 6x6. I don't know. I'm just going to do my best to get it stable and get it level, and then invite them out here, and then if they say, oh, this has to be done or that has to be done before we can do anything, then they can tell me. When I asked the guy, he's like, well, you'll have to look at the North Carolina building code, or what are the North Carolina code, and I've looked up the code, and you have to be an electrician to understand it, I feel like. So I'm just going to take my chances and do my best here to just get the whole thing secure. I feel like it shouldn't be that huge of a deal. It's a temporary power pole. It's not going to have a bunch of stuff on it. It's just a couple of outlets for tools. That's it. So let's see what we can figure out here. Feeling pretty good about this pole. It was a little bit hairy there. I don't have a ladder, but I had this, and then when I put it in the ground, it just sunk. So this stuff needs to be packed. Over time, I hope it's just going to settle real well, and when it rains. But I pretty much got this thing level. You can't move it. I put a stake here, which I might just put another one. 2 stakes on each side with a screw in, and I need to put maybe another stake on the other side of this one, but it makes them super secure. So
yeah, I think I'm going to go grab that really quick and finish that up so the job is complete and done right. And then we'll see if we're feeling like taking this auger off and putting a backhoe on. We'll see. I have an appointment at 3 o'clock today, so I don't even know what time it is. 2:02. Oh yeah, I might need to wrap this up pretty soon. All right, guys, it is probably about 2:35 to 2:40, somewhere around there. And I have an appointment at 3 that I'm not going to make it to on time, but I'm going to do my best. Yeah, so I got that power pole in today. That was good, and got the auger fixed. So that was awesome as well. Plan is to be back out here tomorrow, and I plan on digging that pit. So we will see ya. I will see ya the next time I'm out here, and hopefully that's tomorrow.